Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Monster Hunter World Iceborne livestream. We're back on the PC. I gotta get my PC character up to Master Rank 100 so that I can fight all the wonderful arch-tempered bullet sponges that we're gonna have in the near future, right? I've got the PC to work on. I've got probably the PlayStation to work on as well. So we'll probably do PlayStation in a day or two. Man, I've been busy. It may seem like I've not been working on Monster Hunter content as much, but I promise you I have been working just as much as normal every single day. And the reason for that, the reason I'm so busy, is my second channel's taken off. The other channel, the card channel, is doing so well that every day I spend a number of hours just working on that. Like, what was it? It was Monday night. I spent like 7 hours doing shipping on that channel, shipping off Pokemon cards, and it was like 70 pounds of cards by the end of the night. It was really crazy. I could barely move the box, and I'm an adult male, right? I could barely move it. It was so full. I had to help the mailman and everything. So I've been busy as a bee. Bzz, and we've been going through our Pokemon Blue playthrough and our late night streams, and this is the main reason you haven't seen as much Monster Hunter content, but I figured if any time at all was going to be available for doing something fun like a Pokemon stream, I figured it'd be now, because we're waiting on Elytrion. Elytrion, as you guys know, was delayed. Arch-Tempered Namiel turned out to not really be too exciting in my opinion. You could disagree if you don't agree with me on that. But yeah, so I didn't like Arch-Tempered Namiel quite so much, and we don't know how long it's going to be until we got Elytrion. So I figured now more than ever, maybe getting something in like a Pokemon Blue playthrough would be a good time. And again, I'm over there working on my card stream at the same time as well. So I'm busy, and I hope you guys are too. Hope you guys are having a wonderful quarantine vacation. I was reading some news the other day, and I heard that some people make more money getting unemployment checks now than they did when they were employed. And I was sitting there thinking, why would you go back to work then? You're getting more money to stay home and play video games than you would if you actually got up and went to work. So that was interesting to read about. Apparently some people, as part of the stimulus, they get full unemployment benefits plus like an extra $500. I was like, wow, sign me up for that. But not me. I've been busy. I've been working. Mr. Clean says, do it 6:55. John Tatter, hi, Mr. Gameconomist. Hugo Tusseri, he says, Lance has left the chat. That's right. Lance, big stinky poo-poo. Cisco says, hello, everyone. Let's get into it. Colin says, what up? How was your day? Pretty good. I usually wake up later in the day, and I just finished having a pizza. So my tummy is full. I've got my energy drink. Well, it's over on I got to go grab it, actually. It's on the counter. But yeah, today I'm feeling great. HP Blast says, oh damn, when you finally stream on PC, my internet goes out. Well, if your internet's out, how are you talking to me? Soulsize says, now I have to start work. Oh, that sucks. Abandon ship and become the card economist permanently. No. I don't think that will ever happen. I really enjoy playing video games. I always will. So it will be both. No card stream, says Rakusaga. No, there will be a card stream. It'll probably be right after this. Elliot says, hello. Yo, why did you take the Lance video down? It's not down. The Lance video is still up. Gujiro says, do you think Capcom will bring Arch-Tempered Char Ishvalda? Very, very likely. Metalax says, what did I miss? We just started, we're on the PC, and we're going to be kicking some monster butt. Starsaber says, how is your day? Pretty good. Metalax says, hey mister, hey meister, hey TGC, glad to catch this stream. How's it going, Tyler? Alejandro? Is it Alejandro? I don't know how to say her name correctly. He says, I've heard some don't get their stimulus check if they are married to an immigrant. Really? What? Nuh-uh. I don't believe that. All right. If you're married to an immigrant, no stim check for you. The stimulus check is almost certainly based on taxes. So if you paid your taxes, you get your stim check. It doesn't have anything to do with your marriage status. Besides, if you married an immigrant, that person would have become a U.S. citizen through marriage. So there is no such thing as being married to an immigrant. All right. So on the PC, as I said at the very beginning, we need to reach level Master Rank 100. And I'm here to help you guys with anything you want help with. I do take weapon requests, so I know, throughout the stream, people are pretty generous. Usually, someone will make a donation. When you make a donation, feel free to tell me exactly what you want me to play with, and I will be happy to entertain you with that, okay? And let's see if anyone has anything posted to get us started. No quests have been posted. By the way, I don't have the HUD off, do I? HUD displays on. Yes, so today's stream is a chat time stream. That means we're not doing anything specific. I will be trying to read all of your comments. I can answer any of your questions, and I will be pretty much just helping people with their quests. That's my main purpose today. You will probably see some very bad gameplay because I will be looking at the computer screen rather than at the game screen, which is the only way to read comments while the game is being played. So it's kind of like driving, but you're not looking at the road. It's like texting and driving. So that's why the gameplay, you will likely see me play like shit. I went my Wi-Fi, I'm watching on the phone. Oh, I got you, HP Blast. It's the Gameconomist. Just got back from the comment section of your Lance video. The hate is real. Oh, man. Yeah, the Lance video, you know, when it came out, there was some downvotes, you know, and I anticipated that because some people really like the Lance. But then a popular post makes it to the front of Reddit, and people are like, oh, misinformation. By the way, it's not misinformation, any of the things I said. It's misinformation. Basically, they don't like my opinion on the Lance, so they're going to be the thought police and say, oh, that's all misinformation.
Play HBG.
What? Play HBG? You got it, Raku Sagai. This is my favorite weapon. And, okay, yeah, let's grab the heavy bowgun real fast. That's misinformation. Very religious people. Okay, let's see. Do I already have a heavy bowgun set up? Wow, I haven't done this in like a week, it feels like. Let's see what heavy bowguns I have in here. I know you guys are going to want to talk about that subject, but let's get this set up first. There's Griffin Blazuka. Wow, I don't have any heavy bowguns. Let's go see what I can build with the heavy bowguns. Probably the Beast Buster would be a good idea. I'm a longsword player, and I use earplugs, I think is what you mean. 5. Am I a noob? Yes, you're a noob. That is full-on noob right there. You don't need earplugs on the longsword. The longsword has foresight slash, which, by the way, has the best iframes of anything in the game. So when you see the monster queuing up the roar, you know, getting into that animation, just try to foresight slash through it. It's good for you. Okay, wait a second. This longsword. We need a heavy bowgun. I don't have any heavy bowguns on the PC.
What are your thoughts on the new Unreal Engine 5?
Ooh, there's a new Unreal Engine 5. I do not have an opinion yet, but if that is the case, that is a good thing because Unreal Engine has been, in my opinion, maybe the best game engine out there for shooter games.
Let's see some Gunlance after HBG.
Sounds good, Tyler. Heavy bowgun, then Gunlance. Let's do it. How's it going, Slade? So many angry Lance mains. I know. All 2 Lance mains are mad. If immigrant marry U.S. citizen, we'll have 3 years. If immigrant married to immigrant, we'll have 10 years experience before become U.S. citizen. Oh, okay. It is probably more complicated than I've been told. I don't know anything about marrying an immigrant. My wife is American. I'm American. So I don't know anything about that stuff. I really don't. So let's see. What do we have for armor? If we're going to be using the light break cannon, what you would want... I'm trying to remember. You would want 3 pieces of the Zora set, wouldn't you? You wouldn't necessarily have to have 3 pieces of the Zora set. Of course, I don't even have the charm that gives you... What's the name of that word? Spare shot. There we go. Spare shot. Spit it out. Let's go to Forge Equipment. We're going to go to Armor. Let's jump down here. You know, it's funny. After all the negativity from, you know, the Lance video, what I found funny was my opinion didn't change. None of their arguments actually changed my opinion. Dude, that looks cool as hell. Whenever we get this Kushala D'Ora armor with the Gamma set, I hope they really actually make it quite usable, because look how cool this is. You never get to use it. You never get to use it. It's one of the coolest armor sets, and you never use it. But where's that Zora Magdaros armor set? I don't think we have it, because we don't do anything in the Guiding Lands. Maybe we should do Guiding Lands today. What do you guys think? Guiding Lands today? This character has not done any Guiding Lands, basically. Yeah, we need to do Guiding Lands. All right. Is there still a Gatling build viable? Well, any build's really viable. I think the question you're asking is what is the strongest Gatling build, and it's not going to come anywhere close to being as strong as a spread build or pierced build or sticky build. So that's the real problem. David says, "Would you play Lance if it gets a huge buff?" Well, I'll play Lance now. I'll play Lance now. If you guys paid for me to play, if you did a request basically for me to play Lance, I'd play it now. The reason I don't play Lance is because it's just probably the worst weapon in the game, in my opinion. Right now, it is. I consider Lance bad at defense, but also it's not good at supporting your teammates, and it's terrible at offense too. So all three things are there. All the bad things. Right, like if we play this sticky heavy bowgun, we're going to do plenty of damage, and we're going to KO the monster like 3 to 4 times. And then it will just be juggled to death, and that'll be the end. So let's go ahead and... I think we'll just play with this armor set, to be honest with you, because I don't really have the right armor sets. I got no good armor sets. We're going to drop friendship. We got the friendship charm. Oops. Dude, this character is poor. This character doesn't have anything. Actually, no, we shouldn't even use this armor set, should we? Free meal, speed eating, crit boost. See, crit boost would be useless. Agitator, weakness exploit. Oh, that's coming from the Brachydium greaves, though we could probably change our greaves. Here's speed eating, evade window. Oh, the Narga set. Oh, I'm so dumb. You don't play with the Zora Magdaros set, you play with the Narga set. Oh. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've done this. Please tell me I have... I don't have the Narga helmet. Let's get the Narga helmet going real fast. Maybe you should healer build content before a late round available. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Not a bad idea. I do a lot of wide range builds because I actually really like playing wide range. I think it's nice because you can give your teammates damage buffs and heals, both of those things. So, Diablos, Rathalos, Odegaard, Deathguard. No, we can't build it. We don't have the Steel Gazhao Whisker. Where do we get that? Do we get that from the Wildspire Waste? Rakusagai, let me save this over here for the moment. We will come back to that, but it's looking like I need some more stuff before I put this build together. This character really is poor. We're going to go to the Wildspire Waste, and we're going to get some Gazhao Whiskers. Whoa, Bankai, thank you so much, man. Hope I didn't just shout on the mic too loud. That's more Frost Reach. Alright, I want to help all of these guys, I do, but we're actually going to go out to the Wildspire Waste. This is Master Rank. Here we go. So we're going to go out to the Wildspire Waste, and we're going to kill some of those Whisker dudes. Man, don't you love the load time on the PC? It's so fast. Ready to depart. We just clicked go, and it's like, all right, you're good. That is such an advantage for speedrunning, because it's like if you're going to speedrun on the PC, you can, reset your fight over and over and over again at high speed. Drop it from those fat fish. I just started the game today at the request of a friend, and they said I should be looking for a quest called Code Red, but they won't give me any details about it. Oh, Code Red is really simple. It's going to be an event quest. It's a high rank event quest. I don't know if it's available right now. It might be available. Event quests rotate, right? So they're not always all available. But you'll fight an Odegaron, and it will give you some Dante armor? Dante armor and the ability to build a Dante charge blade. How hard is Bloodborne? I'm thinking of playing it, says Gojira. It's a Dark Souls style video game. It's made by FromSoft. I think it's actually easier than Sekiro. When it comes to Dark Souls, the more knowledge you have, the easier those games get, because you can start getting kind of cheesy in how you play. But it's going to be challenging. Yeah, you're going to find some parts of the game where you feel stuck, for sure. It's a fun game. You should play it. Actually, of all the games I've ever played, Bloodborne might have the most detailed artistic environment I've ever seen. Yeah, it looks really good. How's it going, Victor? Woo! Okay, so we're here to kill some fishies. Code Red is Mountain Dew. That's right. Code Red, Mountain Dew. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Let's get over here. Oh my god. That was me losing control of my camera. How's quarantine? You know, nothing really ever changed for me ever. It's all very easy. I still just sit in my home, drinking energy drinks, playing video games. Nothing really changed. Wait, where's the Gauge out? They should be right here. Oh no, did they not show up in this mission? That's going to be annoying if they don't show up for some reason. Oh, they're not here. Oh my god, dude. Reckless says Mountain Dew is gross, just pure sugar. That's right. That's why I drink Monster Energy Drink. When am I going to get my Monster Energy Drink sponsor? Ripunjaya says, Gameconomist came back after 2 months to the stream, and you are still playing Monster Hunter. That's right. And we're also playing Pokemon Blue from 1996. That's the other live stream I'm doing right now. We're doing a playthrough of that game. So feel free to join us when we start up the next episode, probably tonight. Let's try to post... No, let's go on a... Here, let's do this. We'll go on an expedition. Are you a fan of Transformers? And if you are, who is your favorite? The bad guys. No, I'm not a big fan of Transformers, unfortunately. I remember Beast Wars when I was a kid, which was like a spin-off of Transformers. And I do remember like commercials and stuff like that for Transform. I remember when the first Michael Bay Transformer movie came out, and that was a big hit. But I was just never a big fan of Transformers. Do you have the overlay with the damage dealt and buff timers? I've been thinking about getting that for the PC, but no. I'm currently not running any mods on PC. So I've thought about putting that mod on for you guys to enjoy. The other thing I've thought about putting on is stealing that Silver Knight armor, the layered armor, and adding that back on. Big fan of Silver Knight layered armor. Bots, roll out. Alright, there we go. So we need some Gajiao whiskers. Thick bone. Thick hide. Oh wait, not thick bone. Thick hide. The chat is so respectful. Other chats are just filled with or angry burp treeps. Really? It's pretty much always like this in our live streams. Ooh, come on. There we go. He's still alive? Get out of here. My favorite is Grimlock and the Dinobots. What is he doing? Is he just running away? He's just running away, huh? Dude, he won't hold still. Got him. Oh my god, I'm going to lose to a fish. Man, that's a smart fish. That was a fish that was going to go to Harvard. He is a little smarter than the other ones. He's like, nah, I'm not going to come near you. Let's run over here. Have you taken up Dark Souls Mantle recently? Mods like Dark Souls 3 Cinders or Dark Souls 3 Ascended have gained huge popularity. No, I've not messed around with Dark Souls at all for a while, for a long time. There we go. We got one steel Gajiao whisker. We need one more. Oh, God. Alright, we're going to have to come back in here. Silver Knight armor, but Kieran head? That's right. Clutch claw skin from the Dante layered armor set. I'd love some more Dark Souls armor in this game. Somebody made some Dark Souls armor. Layered armor. try this again. You know what I should do? I should plug up the face cam and have them watch your game while you play.
Oh, that would be so cute. Oh, there's a glitch.
Is a balloon stuck?
There's no balloon.
Oh, weird.
Oh, wait. Never mind. Also, the game's stupid.
Have you considered playing Diablo 3? No, I don't really have any interest in Diablo. Could you please tell us about your experience with the Spanish language and Latino culture? I am from Colombia. I have, well, probably the only thing I'd say is when I was pretty young, my dad took us on a vacation to Cozumel. It's a really nice place to go on vacation. And that about sums up all my experience. That's about the whole thing. Uno, dos, tres. See, I know lots of Spanish. That's about it. I had a friend at work who was he was Mexican, and it was very culturally enriching. Culturally enriching. I think that's the right word, right? His name was Eddie, but his real name was Eduardo. They need to put better layered armor just in general. That's right. Where are these guys? Did they not spawn in again? That happened last time. There's no Gajiaos. How does the game decide that that's what's going to happen? Spanish language. I remember being in Cozumel, and it was really beautiful, by the way. And we went shopping, and there were all these street vendors, and they would like basically grab onto you, like physically grab you and be like, "You want this? You want this? You want this?" And they would be selling like a puppet or something like that, some kind of souvenir. And you'd say no, and he'd say like, "For you, $5." And you're like, "No, that's okay." And he says, "Okay, just for you, $3." And they would just keep dropping their price until you start walking away. Yeah, I remember. It's very different from how you go shopping in the U.S., because in the U.S., nobody talks to you. Mostly nobody talks to you, and you just pick out what you want to buy, and then there's no negotiating the price at all. You just buy the thing. Plug the face cam, says Jaquez. Display be darker than my future. Face reveal. Hey, mister, is this PC? That's right. Come on, Gajiaos. You getting bit by the bees?
Bit by the bees.
Your display is a bit dark, says Bankai. Okay, thank you, man. And thanks for the donation. Let's see. Hopefully that helps. Hey, mister, face reveal? That's right, we're face revealing right now. What was that? Is that some kind of weird owl flying by? How's it going, Dest? Although TGC you speak Latin, do you not? Spanish has its roots from Latin. I do not speak any Latin. Actually, when I was younger, I did take 2 classes on Latin. The old, ancient, dead language Latin, not Spanish. And I've heard some Spanish, obviously. I think most people have. But I never actually stopped to learn Spanish, no. Would you rather be doing Pokemon? Ooh, that's a good question. No, I'm enjoying this. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. It would be nicer if I had my same character across all 3 platforms. That's probably my biggest complaint. So it's like I worked really hard on my Xbox character, and it feels good when I get on that account and I can see all my stuff. But then I come over to the PC and I can see that my character is poor again. And you would think that it's fun to grind all over again, but I already have grinded all over again on my PlayStation account. So I have 3 accounts, and grinding between 3 characters, it does reach a point where you're kind of like, God damn, I'm doing this a 3rd time? You know what I mean? And that's why I ended up using a... Let's go to the Gathering Hub. And that's why I ended up using the Save Wizard on the PlayStation account. What's the point of speaking Latin if no one speaks it? It's fun to learn. The United States actually uses some Latin. Did you know that? Yeah, we'll have phrases in Latin like e pluribus unum, stuff like that. And if you never knew why that was, is because the founding fathers of America were big fans of Rome. They were trying to make America the new Rome, like a new empire, and they were doing a bunch of studying on the Greeks and the Romans, and they were trying to figure out why did they fail, and they wanted America to be powerful like the Romans, except they didn't want America to fail. Jaquez says, write an angry email to Capcom. To whom it may concern. I find the Lance to be terrible at defense. Let's grab this. Collect harvest. Oh, so we're going after honey, huh? No game sound. Really? There's no game sound? Oh, snap. You're right. There is no game sound. Let me think about it for a second. Let me try resetting OBS. Okay. Hold on. Let me try resetting OBS. The game... Well, no, actually, there's just no sound coming at all from it. I don't think it's OBS this time. Let me turn this up. Oh, I see what's going on. So I turned the volume down for Pokemon Blue. What do I have it set at? I have it set at 40. Let me try turning it up now. Alright, so I've turned the game volume up, and I gotta remember when we go back to the Pokemon Blue stream to turn it back down. How often are you supposed to trim your toenails? You trim your toenails? I thought you just let them grow out as long as possible, and then you type on a keyboard with them. So let's see, we should be able to build the Nargacuga helmet now. Thing says, I'm done playing Pokemon. The game restarted and I was in the same place where you left off in Pokemon Blue. Oh, I see. Latin is good for scientific terminology like the periodic table and names of species, and a bunch of stuff in biology use Latin. That's right, and that's because Latin, since it doesn't change, is a very reliable way to name things. Forge equipment, armor, and we want the Narga helmet. Actually, let's go ahead and grab that other build first. What is your favorite platform to play Monster Hunter on? Probably the Xbox. Well, the main thing I like about Xbox is actually just its controller. I have the Elite controller. It's got these nice little pads on the bottom, so I use the pads all the time. And then I just like the heaviness and the largeness of the Xbox controller compared to like PlayStation controller. And I never learned to play with the mouse and keyboard on PC, so this is what I'm most comfortable with. But if I could play my character on any of the three platforms, it would mostly feel the same. Other than the load times, I suppose. PC does have better load times. Let's grab that helmet. Legiana, Odogaron, Uragan, Nargacuga. And this is the one we want. You can now cut tails using the Clutch Claw. What? Wow, amazing. What's wrong with the lance as a defensive weapon? I do talk about it in pretty heavy detail in the other video. It's like 20 minutes long. But if you want the short version of the whole video, there's a few key problems with the lance. It's got bad hops, bad rolls basically. It has a long sheath time. Sheath times are really important because if you're about to die, you need to sheath and eat, right? So one of the most critical points of keeping yourself alive is putting your weapon away and eating. Lance has a slow sheath time. Several weapons do, like the heavy bowgun does, the gun lance does, the bow does. So several weapons have slow sheath times. But the thing is, the lance is supposed to be good at defense because it's not good at offense, right? That's the whole idea. Except it's not that good at defense either. So it's got the bad iframes, it's got long sheath times, it's got a slow walking speed. This makes it very hard to do something I call outspacing. You would recognize outspacing from fighter games where you kind of stay on the edge of your opponent's range, waiting for them to attack, and then you punish them on their recovery frames from that attack. So the lance can't really do that. It can't can't really punish a monster by outspacing it quite as much as the other weapons because of its slow walk speed and its slow sheath time. And then guarding in Monster Hunter is just so bad. Like in Monster Hunter World, if you want to guard, you probably want to bring guard up. You want to bring guard 5. You're still going to take chip damage. You're going to get knocked back and interrupted. And the worst part is guard up and guard 5 take up so much room on your build that it turns out if you didn't have to build those, you will have more room for actual defensive skills like, let's say, elemental resist, let's say heroics. You can even argue defense boost. Defense boost is not that good, but the thing is, if you really wanted to be defensive, you might consider it. You might actually consider bringing it along with Divine Blessing Secret, and obviously the best one, Health Boost and Fortitude. So when you don't have to build guard and guard up, ironically, you end up being more defensive because you have more room for other skills. So this is a big problem for the Lance, because on the Lance you build guard up, you build this thing called, this new thing called Offensive Guard, and Offensive Guard just takes up even more space on your build. So you just don't have room for anything. And so that's a big killer for how defensive you can get the Lance to feel. You just don't have that much room for any other skills at that point. You don't have room for additional defensive skills. And then after that, right, so you're taking chip damage while you're guarding, and then when you're attacking, you're supposed to heal back using the health regen augmentation on your weapon. But really, the pokes on the Lance don't heal that much. It's not that much extra health. So in the end, the funny thing is, when I want to feel defensive, I take a weapon like the longsword or the hammer, some sort of weapon that doesn't really require any extra skills, so that you have all this room left over to build a lot of defense. Okay, so you're able to afford lots of other defensive skills. And then I just kind of run around the monster, so the monster never hits me in the first place. And you could do that with like a hammer, you can do that with the longsword. You can't really do that with the lance. You're just kind of stuck in place, forced to counterattack, forced to take chip damage, and if you do make a mistake, you're trying to sheath your weapon, but it's sheathing real slow, and you're at high risk of dying at that point. So, and I would know this. So you guys like to tease me because I card a lot. Well, that actually makes me more sensitive to feeling when a weapon's keeping me alive. That's the truth. So if you notice, if you see me carding a lot, I get a lot of experience with dying and having an idea of what actually is good defense. And the lance, the sad thing, it always feels like they're trying to compensate for the lance. Over the last few days, I've heard people call the lance good at mobility. It's not. I've heard people call the lance a super aggressive weapon. It's not. And I've heard people say, yeah, the lance is good at defense. It's not. So none of those things are true. And when I hear it, I'm like, man, it really starts to sound like they're compensating for the lance, because it's also not, we already know it's also not very good at offense either. It's just not good at anything. Think about the sword and shield. It's got everything the lance doesn't have. The sword and shield has a fast walking speed. It's got damage. It's got good iframes, right? You can do the normal roll. It's got really good sheath times. It can even eat without putting the shield away. Think about if we had that on the lance. That would be a game changer on the lance. But anyway, sword and shield can eat without sheathing. It can soften in one move. Turns out you never really needed the counter claw on the lance because every weapon has every weapon has a clutch claw. What's so special about counter? It doesn't even work on half the moves. It only works on physical moves. Counter claw does. So anyways, it turns out all those things are true, and for the sword and shield, you know what's funny? Nobody builds to use the shield, because it turns out when you're able to run fast and when you're able to iframe, nobody prefers to guard. That's the truth, because and if a monster is using a big attack, what do? You just sheath the weapon, you dive evade. You can't dive evade with the lance consistently. And you would think that there's never a reason to need to dive evade with the lance, but who remembers the bird bomb on the Ancient Lesson? Ancient Lesson, you had to dive evade, so it was just more dangerous to play with a weapon like the lance. But anyways, yeah, so I came out and I said the lance is not good at defense. Capcom should, but the funny thing about comparing lance and sword and shield actually got a buff. Capcom literally buffed sword and shield. It's got this awesome new move called Perfect Rush. They buffed it too. They made perfect. So think of it like this. Capcom will go ahead and they'll buff Sword and Shield and they'll buff its awesome move Perfect Rush. The Lance got the ability to shoot from behind a shield, and it got Counter Claw, which is irrelevant. I mean, every weapon has the Clutch Claw, like I said. And they haven't buffed it. The Lance just sits there doing poor damage, not being very good at defense, and not having a very good new Iceborne move. And so I bring this up, and people are like, "Oh man, it's misinformation." Nothing I said was misinformation. We're just talking about basic game mechanics. Like, for example, how much room you have on your build. Well, if you're giving up spots for guard and guard up and, offensive guard, then yeah, you have less room for Divine Blessing Secret, Elemental Resistance, you have less room for Fortitude, you have less room for Heroics. That's just how the game plays. That's not misinformation, you just don't like my opinion. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this build going. That's the too long don't read version of the video. That's like the 5-minute version. But I put that video out and people were like so upset. Oh man, I can't believe he would say that. It's like, well, bad at defense. You can't say that. It's like, it's true. And again, after all of the, I heard a lot of replies to that argument that I was making, and none of them were good. I was like, my opinion has not changed at all. I'm still completely convinced it's not actually that good at defense. There's artillery. Do a quest, please. Guard point gang. That's a long, short answer. I know. First, you can counter with the longsword. Opportunity cost. It is a long, short answer. But there's so much to talk about. It's a detailed game, isn't it? Monster Hunter is definitely a game with a lot of details in it. So let's see. What do we need? We need a element. We need a free element. That's what we need. And we've got these 3 spots and not a lot of armor. I guess we'll keep this in, the speed eating. I mean, focus does technically help the bowgun. You get your special ammo back sooner. So we'll run focus 3. Hey, mister. Why would you spread misinformation? You better agree with me. Oh man, that's the thing about Reddit, isn't it? You better not disagree with anyone on Reddit, because they will really freak out. They're like the thought police over there, Reddit. They're definitely like the thought police over there. Artillery, huh? It doesn't... Yeah, Artillery 5 is only for... Man, it shows you stop playing this game for even a little bit of time, and everything in your mind gets ruined. This is not a game you can stop playing for even a short period of time and expect to play the same way. Shield. There's guard. We've got health boost guard, artillery. We've got true shot secret. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. You know what? I'm going to go over to the Discord server because Fan has all of his terrific builds in the builds channel. I'm just going to take another look to make sure I put these builds together and then I don't mess with it ever again. And when I come back to have to build it again, I'm scared I'm going to forget something. So Demon Lord, Beastmaster, Nargacuga Mail, Nargacuga Helm, Raging Bracky, Nargacuga Greaves, Agitator, Attack Boost, Peak, Evade Window, Artillery, Free Element, Health Boost, Pure Shots. So this is what we're working on right now, actually. The build we're working on right now is a perfect example of a weapon that is good at defense. So what we have going on already with the True Spare Shot and the Artillery and the Free Element Ammo Up, which we're about to add, we're done. That's all of our damage. And because you don't really have to build anything else, you could, obviously, to try and top off your damage, but since you don't really have to build those other things, you have all this room left over for actually building defense. And so it turns out, with the sticky ammo build, you give your team like 3 or 4 knockdowns, you deal terrific damage, you don't actually have to be close to the monster, and you still have room to build a little bit of guard and guard up if you even want it. Some people don't need it. You just roll away with the heavy bowgun, because heavy bowgun has a good roll. Here's Evade Extender, Free Element Ammo Up, right there. And we gotta get this. Release protection. Yeah, okay, we'll go with this. So we're building up a little bit of Divine Blessing. We will unfilter here. Skills. Let's see what we got over here. Enhancer, peak. We'll take... Oh, we had 2 of these, huh? So we'll take another one of those, and what we'll do is we'll drop this off the build. So we have Divine Blessing 2. And we'll finish off with Divine Blessing 3. So we have Health Boost, we got Divine Blessing. I'll still die, because I'm terrible at the game, but you see my point, though, right? You see that with this build, we're able to attack the monster from any range, we can KO the monster, and we have the long roll on the heavy bowgun, and it's not like we're really falling that far behind in damage either. So it's like, what was the benefit of playing the lance? And I feel like my perspective comes from the fact that really I've had enough time to play all the weapons. I feel like there's probably people out there who haven't played the lance that much at all. And then there's probably some people out there who have played just the lance, but a lot. And then a combination of players who have played a little bit of lance, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I've really played all the weapons quite a lot at this point. All of them have been given quite a bit of time. We're going to build... You know what I would like? I'd like the True Shot skill on this setup. Because we're already running Focus, so we might as well get True Shot. Fade window. Where is True Shot? It's called Special Ammo Boost. There it is, Special Ammo Boost. And we only have small decorations for it. Let's grab this, and we'll grab this. There's Special Ammo Boost. I guess for the rest of these, let's do like a Evade Extender. Here's Jumping. That's pretty good. I guess we'll save these last 2 spots for KO. I think we have enough Evade. Everything's got 2 names in this game. It's ridiculous. So you can see we don't have the best decorations, but that's okay. This build's gonna do fine. This build's gonna do really well, in fact. Health Boost, Free Element, Focus, Artillery, Divine Blessing, Slugger, Special Ammo Boost, Damn Surge. So we've got the build. Let's go ahead and save it. And now we want to put together the item loadout that will do well for us as well. So this says Cluster Sticky on it. You know what? Let's start from scratch. This lets us craft more heals. Really, we'll never need this because we'll never play wide range on a heavy bowgun. Flash Pod. This will let us do max potions. That's good. Null berries are good. Although you don't want to bring all of your null berries in case you run into some in the wild and can collect them. Yeah, I never really see myself using Mega Demon Drug, especially on like a sticky ammo build. It's just not my biggest priority. These are good. You won't need Trank Bomb ever because you have Trank Ammo. It's Mega Barrel Bomb. Just put the large barrel bomb away. Alright. So down here, let's get to business. We have poison ammo. We have sleep ammo. Oh, there's no paralysis ammo. I thought there was paralysis ammo on this bowgun. No recovery ammo. There's wyvern ammo. You don't want to skip that. Trank ammo. There's the trank ammo. So we're going to bring that. And we're going to have sticky 1, sticky 2, and sticky 3. Alright, so there's our primary damage output. And then on top of that, you could bring something like normal ammo 3 if you think you're close to the end of a fight and you want to finish it off. But really, you'd just be wasting time if you do that. Oh, right, these are important too. Cluster Bomb. Cluster Bomb 1, Cluster Bomb 2, Cluster Bomb 3. Now up here, we're going to use these upper spaces to finish out our item loadout. So we're going to have, obviously, Dragon Strike Nut will come too. Oops. We're going to bring Bombberry. And where's our sticky ammo? Are we out of sticky? No, it's over here. Blast Nut. So there's Dragon Strike, Blast Nut, and Bombberry. All that's important. And then to craft more of the Sticky 3 and Cluster 3, you need this Gunpowder. So we're good on that. What else am I missing? Anything else? Let's take a quick look. You know, I feel like I should be able to heal my teammates. So actually, let's scoot this all down. God damn So I keep pushing the controller wrong. Oh, we don't have any, huh? I mean, there's life powder, but we want dust of life. Any glum grass? I do have glum grass, I just don't really have very much of it. So that's glum grass, and you need that for crafting. Here's a god bug. So you only need 4 god bug, and then you would do the life powder right here. We'll fix that. Actually, let's fix it right now. If I never crafted it before. Oops. Here it is, dust of life. Oh, we have 54 of them right there. Here, let's get... How do we auto-sort these? Alright, there we go. It's been auto-sorted. We should have done that from the start. Alright, we have 2 of those. Sweet. The whole gang's here now. Everything's here. And you can see all we have left are these 3 little slots here. And you can fill these up too with like craftables for traps. It's ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous. Okay, I think we're set. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our radio menu makes sense. So we don't need Whetstone. These 3 are fine. We're going to drop these over here. And now we want to make it easy to craft our main ammo. Sticky 3. I'm just going to do one by one. Alright, there's our sticky ammo. And then our cluster bomb ammo. We're left with this down here. I don't really know what we could put down there. We could put a trap. I don't think I would bother with the tool. Let me think about it for a second. Maybe Nullberry. Alright, good enough. Now, you think that you're done, but you're not actually. So you go to item pouch, and what you're going to do is you're going to push Y. Actually, we're going to go down to fixed items, and we're going to hide the net here, so the net no longer shows up. And then we're going to go to the item bar. Now check it out, here's all of our items, but you can see they're terribly sorted. We're going to sort them in a way that makes way more sense. So this is for when we're playing privately, right? So these will probably be your most used items right here when you're playing privately. There's the Farcaster as well, but you don't actually use Farcaster that often. We put the traps next to each other, it just makes sense. And the flash pod can be about right there. So this has been sorted, and you think you're done, but actually you are still not done. Now we're going to push right bumper. This will bring up the way that your ammo is sorted. And check this out, sticky 1 and then sticky 3 down here is kind of odd, right? Well, actually, no, that's fine. I think the main thing I'm looking for here, for example, we probably want to have this above the sticky ammo, because you will sticky ammo and then go into cluster bomb. Cluster bomb 2 is probably fine. I'd probably move the sleep ammo down here. So you will sleep, and the moment the monster goes to sleep, you will use wyvern ammo. And then I think everything else is fine. I mean, we can move this up here if you wanted. Yeah, I think most of this is fine the way it is. Alright. So we just did a ton of sorting, didn't we? Now we're going to go to manage items. We're going to deposit it here. And that's an updated cluster sticky build for your item loadout. Alright, so that's really important to get that all done. And once you're done with that, you don't have to go back to it. You don't have to do any thinking. And now we should join somebody and get some fighting done, which it's been a while since we fought anything. Organization, a bookkeeper's best friend. That's right. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let's go ahead and start the actual fights. It took long enough, didn't it? Let's see what people are doing in the Guiding Lands. Oh. Let me say this. Alright, so I just told them to post guiding lands. If you're going off to the guiding lands, there's always two things you need to consider bringing in your build. You need to consider bringing, what will we drop actually? I guess we'll drop the KO decorations. You really don't have to have KO in your build for the sticky ammo. It's nice, but you don't have to have it. So we will want to have Geologist. Where do we find Geologist? And you'll want to have Fortitude as well. Fortitude is real nice to have. Alright, so we got both of those. And when you put together like a temporary build like this, I like to put it down here. DDD defense. What the? Let's rename this. So I'll have 2 temporary slots all the time.
Customize your bowgun.
My bowgun. Oh, thank you so much. I always forget about that. Kind of like a lot of other things, you do it once and then you don't touch it again. So you are correct. Customized bowgun. Nice. Sorry about that. Alright, now we have average. And what do we do for the last one? Is it this? Sticky ammo 3 is very slow. Wait, I'm confused. I thought that we... Alright. Sticky 3 very slow. I don't remember that. What am I missing here? It says that the sticky ammo will reload very slowly. I thought that the sticky ammo 3 on the light break cannon would reload slowly. Did they nerf this? They didn't nerf it, did they? Huh? Interesting. Oh, also let's save this. I'm trying to think. Am I missing something? I swear to God that you had the What am I missing? Okay, let's choose join a quest. Oh, not join a quest. Guiding lands. It's Bracky, not Rajang. Oh, I got the wrong bowgun. Oh my God, that's why we didn't have paralysis ammo either. Oh my God. I'm crazy, man. Thank you so much, guys. Why did I just assume it was the Brachydios heavy bowgun? Demon Lord Beastbuster, no problem, we got it. Alright. Problem solved. What the? Customized bowgun. Jesus Christ, man. I was like, that's not right. Here we go, Sticky 3. There we go. And you have room for the shield. Sweet. Nope, not the special scope, the shield. Ridiculous how strong that is. Alright, and here's the paralysis ammo. I'll grab this sleep ammo. Update that. And then... Was I forgetting anything in here? Oh, we're missing out on... What are we missing out on? Free element ammo up. Can't be missing free element ammo up. So let's get this. There we go. Divine Blessing, it's no longer completed either. Artillery's still in though. I think we'll play it from here. Wrong heavy bowgun. Thing is, because I'm so busy having a conversation, I'm not even thinking straight. Alright, now we're ready.
Hey, you!
4 recoil, 1 long barrel. 1 long barrel, huh? Guess we'll join. Your master rank isn't high enough. Oh, master rank's not high enough, guys.
Hey, you.
Hey, you. Tisk tisk. I think we have to be... I don't think we're allowed to be in a level 7 area. Is that what's going on? I'll get to it. Blah, blah. Let's see what you guys are saying.
Hey, you.
Hey, you. I thought you hate guiding lands. I do, really, but this character has absolutely nothing from the guiding lands. So I need to actually do some guiding lands. Oh, nobody has anything posted. I'm just going to do SOS, I suppose. I wasn't intending for it to be that way. Wait, somebody says something. Oh, not registered.
Good to see you.
Well, I was going to play with you guys, but you guys don't have anything posted. Let's go ahead and go to... I guess I'm going to join this guy. How's it going, Footed Pancake? And we're already ready to go. Wow, crazy. That's so fast. Oh, we're at an hour into the live stream. Let me stand up and stretch now. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm doing this thing now where I stretch after an hour. Oh, come on. What are they fighting? Devil Joe? Test is like, is he taking a dump? Nope. Every hour, or really, I should do this every half hour. I kind of jump up and down and stretch my back. Oh, look at these guys. That looks like a trap that was never used. Oh my god. So now you guys are going to get to see some amazing heavy bowgun gameplay. Just looking around for any items that may have dropped. Woo! Man, this weapon's too powerful. Imagine if the lance was this powerful. Wouldn't it be wild? Oh, look at that. I didn't even have to use Counter Claw. I just used my regular Clutch Claw. Isn't that wild? Just use your Clutch Claw. It's almost like Counter Claw is redundant and unnecessary. Run over here. Oh, nice. Watch this, watch this. Boink! It's almost like you don't even need the Counter Claw. Isn't that wild? It's almost like the game was already designed for you to use the Clutch Claw. And Counter Claw is just this sort of terrible move that the Lance has that it has rather than something cool. Like, let's say it could have had Counter Shield Bash or something like that, you know what I mean? Where now you can bash with the shield as a counter attack. That would have been cool.
Analyzing those special traps. Should be able to lure monsters out now. We'll be waiting right here.
Alright, let's go ahead and gather this real fast. Help my teammates out. When you have a heavy bowgun, you are capable of softening up the monster's parts in one move, so you really ought to do that for your team. It's a team effort, guys. When you have good teammates doing a good job, the whole fight goes faster, and we like fast fights. So even if you're using sticky ammo, which doesn't require you to soften a monster, you really ought to be taking a moment to soften the monster. Look how fast focus actually comes back. Ooh, we need the health regen augmentation. Shoot this like real fast. Oh. Grab this Devil Joe materials. So like Coda here, Coda would really benefit from having a softened tail on him. So I do my part and I soften his tail. You really ought to. What's he doing? Oh, he looked like he was leaving areas, but he in fact was not done, was he? It's almost like you don't even need Counter Claw. You just use your Clutch Claw like normal. It's... I do like beating up on the Lance though, don't I? I only beat up on it because it's a weapon I like, and I don't use it anymore because I realized how underpowered it is. And I think it deserves a buff. Alright, pick all this up. Very good. I'll load this up real fast. We could let him kill us 2 times, so that Fortitude procs twice, and then we could eat for Bombardier, and this would let us do a lot more damage. Sticky doesn't do more damage on wounded parts? That's right. Sticky ammo is considered an explosive damage type. Explosive damage in Monster Hunter, such as gun shells from a gun lance, they don't do... They ignore hit zone values. That's what you're referring to. So when a part is wounded, you're not going to do extra damage to it. You can just shoot them wherever you want to shoot them. Probably in the head. Brrr. Oh, that does reach me. Huh. Oh, it's almost like you got a shield right here on the gunlet, or on the heavy bowgun. Oh wow, how did that hit me? Did it hit like behind me? He's so mad. Don't do it. We had the same idea. My heavy bowgun career has improved. Thanks. No problem, man. No problem. Oh, did he just grab me? Right, the counter claw does let you take damage. In fact, I was doing some solos against the behemoth with the lance, and I was using counter claw on him repeatedly, and then he actually killed me in the middle of the counter claw. I was like, what? I was probably missing like half my health or something like that. Dude, that's crazy the way that looked. Is Kitty meowing? I don't even know what to think here. There's a lot going on right now. He's turf warring with everyone, man. Oh, he kind of fell over there. Well, let's do some picking up of stuff. Black Curl Temper Horn. That's cool. Oh. Oh, and he still hit me. No, 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 I don't want the Nullberry. What the hell? Is my controller breaking? It's weird. It's like my controller's breaking. Ouch. Dude, I'm just trying to pick up parts. You gotta pick these up before they disappear. One of the things I don't like about the Guiding Lands. There's a Azure Scale. Let's go ahead and load this back up. I thought that you would love using mouse and keyboard, especially since you're a bowgun main. I think it would probably make aiming with the bowgun harder for me, if anything. I'm so used to using a controller for aiming that it would be hard to go back. How do you lure out a specific monster? I'm new to the Guiding Lands. Well, you have to unlock lures in the Guiding Lands. You can unlock lures just by playing, just by fighting monsters. Oh man, I'm gonna focus on his head. And then basically you would go to the handler, and the handler will allow you to use that lure. How's this guy not closer to death right now? Woo! New member! How's it going, Daxtard? Daxton Woodard. I'm sorry. I'm trying to say your name. Thanks for joining. Uh-oh. I'm gonna get away from that. Oh my god, I just missed that one too. I'm kind of shooting those too quickly, aren't I? Let's go ahead and use some paralysis ammo, I think. Is my phone going off? He's ready. Okay, so he can't be thrown. What we're going to do, we're going to move over to the trank ammo. We have the shock trap. Okay, he is after us now. Ouch, that hurts. Alright, and he's captured. It's kind of nice that bowguns can do that, you know, because bowguns, that means that it opens up one of your item slots. Being able to move the trank ammo down to the ammo slots. It's kind of a convenience. It's not a big deal, though. Maybe it's a little bit fun. You can also shoot the monster with the trank ammo before putting the trap down, by the way. Here's our Bombardier. We're going to go ahead and eat for Bombardier. What do I think of the what do I think of the Guiding Lands as an end game activity? I think it was a big mistake. I think that Guiding Lands was, in the end, it was a grind that was not truly end game-ish. It's very casual. You can die as many times as you need to die. Your teammates can die. And it's the same fight you've already had in the story and in the investigations and in the optionals, except now you have it in this map with terrible background music, and it's an actual easier fight because of all the ability to basically to the ability to use as many lives as you want. It's just, and it adds all this unnecessary complexity to the game for augmentation and for upgrading certain pieces of equipment, certain charms. It adds all this unnecessary complications to the game, but it's still just the same fight. In terms of gameplay, it's the same fight. So I really, 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 really dislike the Guiding Lands. I would give the Guiding Lands an F for game design. Really not an end game activity at all. It's probably an F. James says, would you like to solo Arch-Tempered Namiel with the lance to show how defensive the lance is? Well, the funny thing is, James, is if I do a good job, people will be like, wow, lance is awesome. And if I do a bad job, people will say, see, the lance is bad. So, will I use the lance against Arch-Tempered Namiel? Sure, you can use the lance against any weapon. When I say something like the lance is bad at defense, I'm not saying that the lance isn't viable, only that the other weapons in the game have a better they do a better job at defense. And the reason it's worth talking about these kind of things is because let's have a lance buff. Why not? Who's against buffing the lance at this point? Let's have a lance buff. All right, let's see if anyone else has a guiding lance going.
Ooh, hi.
Oh, hi. Let's have a lance buff. Duh. Come on, man. Actually, this guy's level 3. I think I'm going to back out of that. He had one area at level 3. Oh, hi. I wish I could join these other ones. Wow, not a lot of guiding lands available on PC right now. Crazy. 3Doke says, Guiding Lands gets old quick, even though it's complicated, still feels shallow because of the rewards. Oh, it's just an extra grind that they added onto the game because why not? It is really, really, really terrible game design, in my opinion. So it's like they sat down and they said, how can we waste their time? Huh, give them the Guiding Lands. Bankai, thanks for becoming a member. Wow, we got 2 members today. Very cool, guys. Did I say use the lance against any weapon? I'm sorry. You can use the lance against any monster. My bad. Just delete lance and give the moves to gun lance. You know what I think would be really cool on the lance? Imagine if the lance had... God damn it. Why does my controller, I think it's breaking. There it goes. Imagine if the lance had no shield and it was just you holding a lance with no shield. Two-handing it maybe. That would be so cool. And if you had like fast walking speed and everything, that'd be awesome. What do you think we should have instead of the guiding lance? That's a great question. Here, let me redesign the guiding lance. Let's say, first of all, let's say we got rid of the guiding lance entirely. Okay, guiding lance is gone now. Now instead of the guiding lance, let's add another map. We're going to add a mountaintop map. And at the very top of the mountain, it gets like icy cold, and there's like meteor showers, and it's like in outer space or something crazy like that. Okay, so now we have a new map, and it's way cooler than the Guiding Lands, and it's a place where you have end game fights. All right, it looks crazy, it feels chaotic. You're entering the Twilight Zone. That's the name of the new map. So I've just named the new map Twilight Zone. It's got a bunch of dangerous hazards like volcanic, some kind of crazy volcanic stuff, and what you do in that area is when you fight a monster in this new map, when you fight a monster, the monster has turned Arch-Tempered. And let's say every monster can show up on this map, not just dragon, not just Arch-Tempered dragons and stuff like that. Elder dragons, there we go. Let's say any monster on this map can be Arch-Tempered. And when a monster is Arch-Tempered, each monster will gain 2 new moves, and they'll be moved to maybe like their largest size or their smallest size. Which, that sounds funny, like their smallest size, but just think about it. If you have an arch-tempered monster that's at their smallest size, that could actually be dangerous in its own way, like challenging in its own way. For example, we try to shoot a monster with maybe like sticky ammo. Well, guess what? If you can't hit him in the head, that's a challenge. Well, I don't know if that's a good example, but the monster is small or it's gigantic, and it's arch-tempered, it has more health, it's got a few moves that can one-shot you, it's got 2 brand new moves you've never seen before, and when you fight them in the new Twilight Zone map, the reason you fight them there is because they have a chance of dropping a unique weapon or a unique layered armor. The unique weapon will basically be like the normal weapon for that monster. Let's say, for example, Reijang has a Reijang heavy bowgun tree. Well, you have a chance for Arch-Tempered Reijang to drop a special Arch-Tempered version of his weapon. It's basically the same weapon, but it'll have a special attack now. It'll have like a weapon art now. And the weapon art can be activated by pushing both of the bumpers together on your controller. And when you do this, this sort of cool finishing move comes out of your weapon. It does a neat move versus the monster you're fighting, and then it goes down onto recharge for a while, maybe like 5-minute recharge, 3-minute recharge. Okay, and that would be the whole point of the end game, would be to collect every single arch-tempered weapon and all of these unique armor sets. And they're not armor sets, they're layered armor, I'm afraid. Yeah, so you want to collect the unique layered armor, and you want to collect the arch-tempered weapons. There you go. I just created a better end game than Capcom's team, and it took me about 2 minutes. It took me like, I just came up with it as we talked. That's all it took. Very easy mode. Let's jump up here. Took no time at all. Arch-tempered weapons. They didn't do arch-tempered weapons in the base game, right? They only had gamma armor. No arch-tempered weapons. An arch-tempered version of everything, which means you can fight arch-tempered Jagras. People have been asking for arch-tempered Jagras for a while. We never got it. We got the greatest Jagras, but no arch-tempered Jagras. Why not? What's holding you back from doing arch-tempered Jagras, really? Very easy. That's much more programming complexity. What? How's that complicated? I don't think it's complicated. You paid $40 for this game, right? What'd you get for $40? You got a bunch of cutscenes that you can't skip, a non-existent story, mostly reskins of already existing monsters, and then Velkhana, Namiel, and the Guiding Lands. They really did not add a terribly large amount of content to the game. I mean, you got Tigrex, Nargacuga, right, and Bariath, but they didn't release a terribly large amount of content to the game. And honestly, Guiding Lands is just the same fight, but on a poorly designed map. It's the same exact fight. And then the only reason you come out here to do this is because you have to. The game forces you to. James says this would take too much money and time. What are you talking about, James? They already charged you $40. Dude, they charged you $40, and I'm just talking about having an arch-tempered monster for every monster. That's all I'm talking about. Arch-tempered monster for every monster, and arch-tempered weapons. They already have gamma armor. It's not that difficult. You know, if they didn't build the Guiding Lands, they would have more time to do this other stuff, but they built the Guiding Lands instead. Easy mode, guys. Everyone's like, no, we couldn't possibly have that. It would cost them too much money. It's like, why not? They're charging you almost the price of a full game. You realize that, right? $40 is nearly the price of a full game. The Guiding Lands is there to help with augmentation system. Yeah, we never needed that. Yeah, we never needed that. It doesn't help, by the way, with the augmentation system. What the Guiding Lands does is it makes it harder to augment your weapons. That's what it does. I can't see the dab emoji anymore, lol. The dab emoji. They took 40 of your dollars, guys. That's nearly the price of a full game. We couldn't possibly have that. You guys realize most of the resources they used to make Iceborne pretty much already existed, because they had already made World. Think about that. Look what I'm doing right now in the Guiding Lands. I'm fighting the same monster I've already fought 1,000 times in World. What is this, Toby? How many times have you fought Toby already? This is not endgame content. This is Toby Kadashi, except I can't lose to him. That's what the Guiding Lance is. That's endgame? That is not endgame even a little bit. What are you talking about? This is not endgame. This is like beginning game. This is easier than the beginning of the game, because you can't even lose. This is beginning game content, not endgame content. So I don't know why anyone would call this endgame. It would be endgame if they changed it so that everyone had one life or something like that. That would be endgame. And if the rewards were actually stronger than the story. But they're not, are they? This guy's getting wrecked. Sorry about that. This poor guy. This poor Toby's getting destroyed, dude. You got to remember that they would need to design the unique zones. You got to take the programming mechanics, animations. It's harder than you thought to animate. Remember the free content we got. Yeah, so you guys are basically just saying they couldn't do that because that would be too difficult. I mean, I guess that's what it comes down to when it comes to offering people a good product versus a bad product. So you and I are a consumer, right? And we paid $60 already for the base game. And then we waited like 2 years for Iceborne to come out, and we paid $40 for Iceborne. What did we get with Iceborne? We got one new map. Remember how many maps there were at launch for the base game? There were like 4 or 5 maps. We got one new map. Guiding Lands is not a new map. Guiding Lands is a combination of already existing resources that they mesh together. Alright? And then we got Tigrex, Nargacuga, Bariath, that were already existing in older games, so they knew everything they were going to do with these monsters already. There were no concept designs, there were no new artworks, there were none of that. Everything they needed already existed for all their concepts. Even the move set already existed. And then, so we got Hoarfrost Reach, we got like Bonboro's Giant Bariath, we got Beatodas. Beatodas is literally Gyratodas. We got the monsters that had already existed, Tigrex, Nargacuga, Bariath. We got Shar Ishvalda, who admittedly is very cool. He's the best reskin in the game, but he is a reskin. Okay, so Bariath. Wait, do I not have Geologist anymore? I thought I had Geologist. He's a reskin, right? So they reskinned Zenajiva. They made a great new fight, and I give them credit for that. And then after that, we have what? The Guiding Lands. The Guiding Lands is just the same fight twice. That's it. You don't even get to fight Shara here, by the way. You just fight the other monsters. That is not a lot of content for $40. You paid $40 for this. Oh yeah, but we got Reijang, and well they were planning to do that the whole time. And most likely what they did was they launched this when they could have launched it with Reijang. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So and look, I'm not terribly upset with what I got for Iceborne. I'm just saying they added rooms and they added the Guiding Lands. And they could have just dropped all that crap and gone straight to giving us real end game content rather than this, what I would call fluff. Just like arch-tempered fights these days are basically just bad designed bullet sponges. That's all they are. I love Iceborne, which is why I sound so critical right now. I love Iceborne and I love Monster Hunter, and that's why I can see after hours of gameplay where it could really be improved, because I've spent a lot of time with this, and I know that the Guiding Lands is exactly the same fight. That's all it is. You guys are paying a bunch of money for the same fight. You just fight the monster twice. It has an exclusively locked piece of material that says now you have to fight in the Guiding Lands, right? So you already fought him in the story. You then fought him in an investigation and an optional quest. And now Capcom's saying, you know how we make this game last longer? Make him fight him again. Make him fight him in the Guiding Lands. That's all they did. That's the end game. And it's not even difficult. It's actually easier than the investigation was. That's not end game content at all. You paid $40 for that. That's a lot of money. Oh man, they don't have the money to do it. What are you talking about? I was invested before. I actually sold my stock before the stock market crashed, by the way. That was very lucky of me. Before the stock market crashed, Capcom was making like new records for their sales that they had never had before. You're telling me they don't have the money? They have tons of money. That's why their stock did so well. That's why I made like $300 on capital gains from their stock. Because they're doing so well financially right now. They have the money. They got lots of money. This is their best-selling game. They've got lots of money. So if you're being told, oh, they don't have the money. They're not like some poor homeless hobo in New York. You know, they're not some... they're very wealthy right now. They're doing extremely well. Jen's like, there are two camps. They're doing very well right now. They don't have the money to do that. Yes, they do. Yes, they absolutely do. But they figure that they could do less work and get you to pay $40 for that anyways. All right, let's jump down here. And that's how you make money, by the way. You do less work and you get the same pay. That's how you make money. You offer a cheaper product and you get the same pay. And then you say that's a big profit. And then your shareholders say, yay, we got lots of profit. That's how it works. They absolutely could have dedicated more time to a better map. Like imagine if this expansion, they called it a massive expansion. Imagine if the massive expansion launched with just 2 maps. You know Guiding Lands does not count as a map, right? This Guiding Lands, yeah, it exists, but look, we've already been here. We've been here many times, right? This is already existing resources that they just slapped together. And they're making record profits for their company right now. And you do not have a second map. You have Guiding Lands. That's a fair criticism. Arson's like, they're just a small indie company, right? They've been around forever, guys. They're like as old as Nintendo or something, right? Capcom's super old. They're a AAA company. You're like, we couldn't possibly ask for 3 maps. That would break the bank. How would they afford their bills? They have children to feed. What are you talking about, guys? You paid $40 for this. You paid a lot of money for this. You paid a lot of money for this. You got 1 map, Hoarfrost Reach, which is well designed, and then you got Guiding Lands, and that's it. You got more than that in the base game. And the base game was something new that they made. This was not new. They used already existing resources for Guiding Lands. How could you ask for that? How could you ask for more content? It's like, well, pretty easily. They're making record profits, guys. We got that quality Pookie content. That's right. You can put a picture in your room now. Well, you have to pay for that picture, but it's not that much. Right. They invented the room to sell you microtransactions, guys. So they put resources toward building a room to sell you microtransactions. They couldn't give us more than 1 real map in the expansion that you paid $40 for. But they're making record profits on the sale of their game. Just do the math, guys. It's really straightforward. You overpaid for bad endgame content. I would pay $20 for this kind of endgame content. It's still pretty cool, but it's not $40 cool. And you know, if you're happy, you're happy. I don't want to see video game companies not turn a good profit, especially game companies that are making quality content. But you know, come on, you're not going to convince me that Guiding Lands was good endgame content, because it just wasn't. You're gonna break the bank. What if we had 3 maps for the release of Iceborne? Fire this man. He's crazy. He's off his nut. 3 maps. We couldn't possibly do that. How am I gonna afford my boat? It's like, what? But again, I get it. They got to keep their shareholders happy. And that's why you have to give them all your money. Samuel said, are you saying you did not get your money's worth? Excuse me. I'm saying that the Guiding Lands should have been real endgame content, not us fighting literally the same monster a second time, or third time, if you want to call it that. Look at what's really happening on screen right now. I'm fighting this same guy, whatever his name is, Acidic Glavenus. I'm fighting Acidic Glavenus again. We're in the exact same place we fought him the first time, but it's called the Guiding Lands this time. And we only fight him because we have to, Because if you don't fight them, you won't get this material that they locked into the Guiding Lands to force you to play Guiding Lands. If his material could be unlocked in an investigation, you would just never come here. You would just do the investigation. You would never come here. Yeah, people would just do the investigation. Kind of like farming for Great Spirit Vein Gems. Think about it. You can do it with Nergigante event quest now. So now people just do that when they need a Great Spirit Vein Gem. They don't go to the Guiding Lands. They go to the event quest, because of course they do. People don't want to be here. They have to be here. That's really a bad sign. I was happy with the expansion, not Arch-Temper Namiel rewards. Yeah, and again, I want to remind you guys, I'm a big cheerleader for Capcom's Monster Hunter. It's a well-designed game. It avoids many of the pitfalls that other AAA developers are falling into, but this is a fair criticism to say that the Guiding Lands was not good endgame content. And it's better to be honest than to tell lies or to protect the fandom, because when you tell the truth about how something is feeling, that is what allows for improvement and to make a product that makes you happier. Okay, so being honest about problems with the product is what allows a producer to make good changes. This is true for everything. Right? That sort of feedback's important. We must protect the fandom. Lance is actually the strongest weapon. It is more aggressive than every other weapon. We must protect it. Hey, mister. Let this guy smack me a few times. God. It costs $40 to make Nergigante shiny. Well, exactly. Well, exactly. You know what's sad about Nergigante too, by the way? He's not even as good of a fight as the original Nergigante. I like the old Nergigante fight. It felt more intense somehow. Rune Nergigante is kind of annoying that his spikes don't all break off. There was some really nice feeling of accomplishment when you knocked off all of base game Nergi's spikes. You're like, yeah, you don't got no spikes no more. What you gonna do about it? Ooh. Ooh. You can't make fun of Lance. They're the most disadvantaged weapon class. Speech is violence. We must protect the fandom. You know, it's funny, all the stuff we talk about today, I could make videos about it, but I do it in the live streams now. Whoa! Dude, this guy's really poking me. Look, it's almost like you never needed the lance at all. You just run heavy bowgun. Ow. We're gonna put this temporal mantle on. He's like, what'd you say? What? The clutch claw? Wait a second, you can't use that unless you have the counter claw. Counter claw is so good. It lets you take damage without... It's kind of like Rocksteady, but you can take like damage and then you'll soften the monster's part. It's really strong. And shut up. Lance is like super aggressive. I've heard that mentioned to me like 3 times in the comment section for the other video. The 10 reasons, right? So the comment section got real mad at me and Reddit and all that. And I kept hearing people call the lance an aggressive weapon. I was like, more aggressive than what? The bow? More aggressive than a heavy bowgun? What are you talking about? All weapons are aggressive. I mean, that's what you do. You just attack with all the weapons. All bark, no bite. That's the lance in a nutshell. Dude, I'm super aggressive. I just do the worst damage in the game. Yeah, it's like, if you were to rank weapons by aggressiveness, I guess the best way to do that would be by damage output, right? Because you really would be a dog, all bark, no bite, if you didn't do any damage. Oh, it's so aggressive. Yeah, that's so cool, but you don't actually hurt them. The lance is an aggressive weapon. You can stick to the I can stick to the monster now. I can stick to the monster with all 14 weapon types. They all do it. But you can't stick to the monster with the sword and shield. You can't stick to the monster with the great sword or the insect glaive. Or so what are you? Oh snap! What are you even talking about? Super aggressive, man. Come on, man. Where's my trank? Oh, is he captured? He is captured. Nice job, everyone. Any other materials? Here's some acidic lab material. Come on, man. I like to tease. Since I can't use the dab sticker. Really? The dab should be available. I don't think it would take things away, would it? I don't think it would. Daxton says they are beta cucks. Beta! This is some low energy, beta, male, cuck, feminist, simp energy over here. Beta! I was a little surprised by how easy normal Nurg is when you first fight him. He's so hyped to be a tough fight, and I soloed him in one try, but I had much harder time with Kushala Daora. Oh, Kushala is a nightmare. He's not... Kushala is not any more dangerous than Nurgi. He takes so long, man. Just hold forward toward the monster. Lance should have built-in CC via Impale. Nurgi is a lot more intuitive than the Kushala fight. Lance versus Gun Lance is like Charge Blade versus Sword and Shield. Have a drink there. There you go, I burped for you guys. Daxon says, I love having your stream as background noise, especially when you get all philosophical. It's just me screaming, beta male! No, how dare you have a different opinion? Shun the non-believer! I've never had so many people tell me to stop spreading misinformation. Dude, it's my opinion. You can't call an opinion misinformation. That's like you trying to be the thought police. It really is. It's like I'm over here and I'm saying true things about the Lance. Lance has hops. Hops have inferior iframes. That's not misinformation. That's real. That is actually the truth. Lance does less damage than the other weapons. There's data for that. There's data for how much damage the Lance does. When you take a look at all of the speedruns, you find that the Lance performs maybe the worst of all weapons. Okay, that's not misinformation. That's the truth. And then I come out with something like, I don't think the Lance is very good at defense. Okay, that's my opinion. You're entitled to an opinion. That's not misinformation. But that's the first thing people say. Stop spreading misinformation, man. That's like the new thing now. You don't like someone's opinion? Call it misinformation. He's spreading misinformation. Don't listen. Close your ears. That's the new thing now. You say that the person is spreading misinformation if you don't like what they're saying. It's like, wow, you're misinformation. Frick you, man. That police. That's why I don't spend a lot of time over on Reddit anymore, by the way. I figured that out a long time ago. Like a year, maybe 2 years ago, I figured out that not everyone on Reddit. There are some really nice people on Reddit, but there's an awful lot of thought policing that happens on Reddit because of the way it's designed. It's not anyone's fault in particular. It's just the way the system's designed. You have a system of upvote and downvote, and so you're going to have a majority opinion that downvotes you if you say something they don't like. Whether or not it's true. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. They're just going to downvote it if they don't like the way it sounds. It's like the perfect place to go if you wanted to feel your feels, basically. I don't know how I feel about that, man. Oh. It's actually why I definitely prefer GameFAQs to Reddit. I always have. The most common argument why you are wrong with your opinion because you played Lance bad in the gameplay footage in this video. Well, yeah, and that's a fair thing to say too. There's a few things I'd have to say about that. So first of all, the gameplay footage is just, that was when I made the 2-hour, it was the 2-hour no commentary Lance video. Do you guys remember that? I released it a while ago. It didn't get many views. It was no commentary. It was just like background noise. I was doing an experimental video and I didn't edit the video. My editor edited the video, right? So he didn't do an especially good job of going around trying to take the epic moments with the Lance. He just showed every single moment with the Lance, and I wasn't speed running it by any means. I was just playing for 2 hours, and yeah, you could say I'm terrible with the Lance if you want. I would argue this. If you think I'm terrible with the Lance, wouldn't that give you better evidence that the Lance is not doing a good job helping me stay alive? All right, so let me explain what I mean. When we talk about defense, we are talking about survivability. I put together survivability builds all the time because I'm somebody who enjoys extra survivability. Alright, I enjoy it. It keeps me alive. And maybe that's because I card a lot. So I'm somebody who's especially sensitive to how much defense a weapon has because it helps me stay alive. So if I'm struggling to stay alive with the lance, maybe there needs to be some explanation for that. Maybe there's something that the lance is not doing that the hammer is doing. And for example, the lance has a slow sheath time, which means it's harder to stop and eat with the lance. Maybe the hammer has more room for actual defensive skills that the lance can't fit into his build, because the lance is forced to guard, and then half of your slots, not half of them obviously, a bunch of your slots go toward, you know, guard up and guard. So they want this bone pile. But yeah, so if you're going to make the argument that, oh, you don't know how to play the lance, first of all, I'd say take a look at my game experience. I have an enormous amount of game experience, 4,000 hours, over 4,000 hours. With the lance, you know, it's funny, I probably have more playtime with the lance than just about anyone that disagreed with me on the lance. 553 matches with the lance, and that's just the lance. So I have a lot of experience with other weapons as well, right? So my experience with the weapon is enormous. And then if you're going to say, well, you're just bad. Well, okay, so let's say that I'm really bad at the game. Well, then I would be a perfect candidate for using a defensive build, wouldn't I? And it feels like I'm not getting the defense I want out of the lance. Other weapons provide better defense. So you might conclude that the lance is not providing good defense. Bro, just don't get hit, man. Then you won't have to sheath. That's not a very good argument when we're talking about defense. That would probably be a good argument for offense. Yeah, because you lose a lot of damage when you have to sheath and heal. But that's not a good argument where we're talking about defense. We're talking about defense here. Is he going to sleep? No. Alright, he's paralyzed. I'm not claiming to be like a speedrunner or anything like that, but I'm knowledgeable about the game. I actually know quite a lot. Especially because of this job I do for YouTube, where I play all day long, and I have to know mechanics in the game. I have to know how things work. And I spend a lot of time with all 14 weapons. As you stated, having integrated guard points in the lance is a solid idea. I know, right? So here's another thing. I really don't get this with people. All I'm really asking is for guard and guard up to be in the lance already. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for a lot, in my opinion. And why would that not be such a big deal? Well, first of all, the lance obviously doesn't do the damage of the other weapons. And I'm not asking for a damage buff. But secondly, you get weapons like the longsword, where they have built-in mind's eye and built-in flinch free. And it's like, okay, so you explain to me why this weapon gets mind's eye flinch free, and the lance doesn't have mind's eye flinch free on its basic attack, but it also doesn't get to have guard up guard. Somebody explain why that's fair and balanced. There's no explanation to it. And then they say, because I point this out, they say, well, you're spreading misinformation. That's not misinformation. That's actually how the game is. You know, when you're using the I can't remember the name of the longsword move. It's the one where you're charging up the spirit gauge, and I always forget the name of it somehow. What's the name of that move? It's the move that trips everybody. Yeah, it helps you build up your spirit gauge to the next level. That move has built-in flinch free and mind's eye. Again, somebody explain how it's okay for the longsword to have that built in, but if you ask for built-in guard up and guard on the lance, you're just asking too much. Like, what are you talking about, man? That's the thing that the lance seems like it should be good at, because you're forced to guard with the lance. You have to guard because you're terrible walking speed, terrible hops, right? So it seems like that's the thing that you should be good at, but you don't even get to be good at it. You have to build for it as if you were the sword and shield. People got salty over the lance? That's right, people got super salty. They got salty as frick. Go see for yourself. It's my latest video that I posted. There was a front page Reddit article that claimed I was spreading misinformation, and so a bunch of people from Reddit poured over and downvoted it. Yeah, man. Stop spreading misinformation. What? Like the longsword has built-in flinch free and mind's eye. Come on, man. Spirit Blade. The Spirit Blade combo. Thank you, guys. It's such a simple name, and I forget it every time. The Spirit Blade combo on the longsword is one of your primary attacks, and it has built-in mind's eye, and it has built-in flinch free. So the longsword gets that. The lance gets nothing. Somebody explain. The lance does not get flinch free. Maybe like in the middle of its from power guard to counterattack, but you don't commonly spam that move, you know what I mean? You only use it situationally. TGC, did you know that the Sword and Shield back hop and claw uppercut has iframe? Yes, yes I did know that. Why are people so against buffing the lance? I have a theory. I think actually that people might have a little bit of a compensationary sort of attitude toward it. You know how, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it in a mean way, but maybe a little bit of inferiority complex. Have you ever considered that? Inferiority complex is a real thing. If somebody comes up to you and says your weapon's the worst weapon, they might feel a little angry about that. They might be like, no, actually it's the best. It's super aggressive and mobile and it's the best, man. You just don't know how to play it. It's like, what if I do and you're wrong? I don't agree with those opinions. That's misinformation now. Things you don't agree with cannot just be classified as misinformation. If I said, here, let me explain. I'm going to give you guys an example of what real misinformation would be. Real misinformation would be if I said that the lance was a high damage weapon. That would be real misinformation. Because we have data that exists that shows that the lance is underperforming in damage compared to other weapons when accounting for speedruns. And speedruns is such a terrific way to measure damage output on a weapon because speedrunners tend to play perfect. So you get to see how much a weapon does when it's played the very best with no mistakes, optimized damage builds, right? So you get to see pretty much you get to see the ceiling of what a weapon can do in terms of damage when you see a speedrunner using it. And so you just compile all the speedruns and see that the lance is performing beneath just about every weapon. It comes very, very close to the hunting horn. Lance runners been complaining since day one. A lot of them just given up on running with it in general, especially since Lance was one of the strongest in GU. I wouldn't have even known that. People really in this community forget that when Behemoth first came out, the best tanking weapon was heavy bowgun, not the lance. Right, it was actually heavy bowgun because it turned out the ability to shoot the Behemoth's head from a further away angle was a big advantage. Not to mention the fact that heavy bowgun has that roll that allows you to close the gap versus the monster very quickly. Go ahead and do this. Wow, he looks like Raging Brachydios. This isn't Raging Brachy, right? This is just regular Brachy. Look how big he is. Babies fall out the sky every Thursday night? That's right. That's misinformation, man. Wee woo, wee woo. Robo what? Anyone feel Clutch Claw homogenizes a lot of the fights? Clutch Claw is for an egalitarian society where they want to feminize you all into domesticated house cats. I'm just saying shit. No, but I'm not a huge fan of the Clutch Claw either. Although I feel the Clutch Claw could be fixed very quickly if they simply added skills in the game for Clutch Claw. I really think that's what they should do. I don't think it would be even that difficult for them to do it, but, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I did not see that move. Help these guys out. Let's get this Brachy material. Glossy Ebon Shell. I hate Raging Brachy and Brachy in general. He's okay. What are you talking about? Brachy's fun. I think Brachy's actually a good addition to the game. Brachy's captured. How far away do I have to run from these guys? Let's use the Farcaster. I hate Raging Brachy. The Clutch Claw is a better weapon than the Lance. Changed my mind. Freaking Clutch Claw, man. Built-in earplugs on the Clutch Claw. What heavy bowgun are you using? How's it going, Deepa? We're using the Beast Buster. This is the Beast Buster heavy bowgun. It comes from Furious Rajang. Okay, it's a really good one. Go get it. They should just add clutch claw attack that soften like the sword and shield uppercut. Yeah, I mean, a lot of weapons will have more fun if that's how their clutch claw worked. I really believe that. What kind of skills do you have in mind for clutch claw? Sure, there should probably be a rock steady skill. So there should be a rock steady skill that allows you to be uninterruptible when you clutch claw. Second of all, there should be, obviously, probably the best thing they could add for the clutch claw is a skill that doubles the time that the softening lasts. Okay, so that would be the very best skill they could add for it. And if they did this, this would probably be a priority build on most setups. So something that doubles the duration of the clutch claw would make it so that you don't have to use the clutch claw so much. The rock steady skill would allow you to use the clutch claw more if you wanted to use it like for fun. And then finally, I'd probably just use I'd probably have a skill that you could add that ups the damage of your weapon attacks. So, we're full though. See, we're maxed out. So the last one would be a skill that allows you to deal more damage when using a weapon attack with the clutch claw, and this would make it so that you could have some more maybe like clutch claw centric builds. In fact, this would really benefit the lance that has the counter claw, so you could spam counter claw if it dealt simply enough damage. So if you counter clawed onto a monster with the lance and then dealt 1,000 damage, you'd be using counter claw all day, and that would actually be really cool for the lance. God forbid they add that to the game though. God forbid. That will be too strong. It would be the end. It would be the beginning of the downward spiral. The whole game would shut down if Lance had the ability for all that, wouldn't it? Oh, nice. Woo! Oh, that's not what I was trying to do. Luckily, he's in a turf war. Knock my teammates away. Did his roar just interrupt him? What the hell? Cold-blooded Ice Fang, huh? Hey game, what platform are you playing on? Today we are playing on the Game Boy Advance. Fast F says if you can headbang a Latreon into a wall, that's it. I'm complaining like a Karen. Get this Karen out of here. I have a big question. Favorite weapon for grinding Elder Dragons? Favorite weapon for grinding Elder Dragons? Probably the hammer. I'm a hammer main, I'd say, at this point. I like the heavy bowgun as well, but the heavy bowgun's maybe so strong that it takes a little bit of the fun away. So heavy bowgun's pretty OP. Boop. I want a clutch claw skill that pulls monsters to you instead of pulling you to the monster. That'd be pretty weird, huh? Sounds legit. Let's go ahead and soften him. Think of the advantage I have right now over the lance with this setup. Look, see, when I want to get away from him, I just roll away. Lance can't do that. Lance is a mobile weapon. Yeah, but you realize when you use dash attack, it actually takes a long wind-up before dash attack really starts moving anywhere. And advancing guard really isn't that much range, to be honest. A lot of weapons have a repositioning attack. Most weapons do, I think. The gun lance is got a great repositioning attack. So it's hard to say one weapon has a great amount of mobility when it's pretty much got the same mobility as everyone else, but terrible walking speed and cheat times. Go ahead and shoot this guy in the tail. But like the heavy bowgun actually has it. Like look at the range of this roll right now. Look at this. Lance can't do this. And I would know. I use this weapon all the time. I use both weapons. Oh, I'm about to get hurt. Okay, or not. Guess he decided not to hurt me today. But look at this, I don't even have to get close to him. I just sticky ammo him from like halfway across the map. It's not even close to comparison. Oh no, look, I can counter claw easy. You just hit a button and then you use your clutch claw. Silly. Absolutely silly. I'm gonna help my teammates out here. Can't even see what's going on. That's him. Yeah, that's him knocked down. This guy is missing out on the paralysis because he's gathering. Dude, listen to this music. This music's so good. Not the game music. I'm talking about this background music. Let's go ahead and load this up. Ow. I just got tripped. In fact, now I'm out of here. Good luck on your stream. Keep up the videos. You're doing an awesome job. Thank you very much, man. I got a message on Reddit the other day when all that stuff went down, and this guy was like, "Are you doing all right, man?" I was like, "What?" I actually remember that. He's like, "Just don't let it get it to you, man." And it's like, "Don't worry." I actually kind of like controversy. It's a bit fun for me. I do like the controversial conflict. People forget I came from a family of 11 children. It's like our whole lives was conflict. It's like all we did was fight. Petty fights, calling each other names. You're a butthead, man. You're a butthead. I'm telling on you. Some little kid run off and lie to you to mom and dad. I'm telling mom and dad. Oh my god. He on X Games mode. Let's get this dust alive. Are you gonna be okay? I was like, are you gonna be okay? Oh, let's get this stuff. Aw, wouldn't that have been cool if I hit him with the crystal burst? Bro, you gonna be okay, man? I think I will. So, I farmed Raging Bracky, killed him like 20 times for the goods. I made my main weapon, Greatsword, Longsword, Hammer, and then Charge Blade. I must say, trying out Charge Blade for the first time, I find it fun. Charge Blade is a lot of fun. Charge Blade is really in a good place. The fact that it can be so complicated to learn and to get good at is a good thing. You know, you could argue with the Lance that maybe in some ways it's too simple. You just poke, 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 dash attack, poke, 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 counter attack, advancing guard, dash attack, right? That's it. But the Charge Blade can actually get really complicated and have very satisfying moments where it's like you pull off a really good combination that required you to make some actual tough decisions in the middle of the combo. Next time you do a controversial video, you must bring the evidence for the facts ahead. Yeah, that's another thing. So the video itself, it was just an off-the-cuff sort of commentary, quick commentary I made. And back then, I was still forming my ideas even, you know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe I could have done a much better job explaining my opinion. How could I forget God Eater exists? There we go. Wait. Materials? Yeah, we gotta pick up the materials. So that was regular Legiana? I think that was regular Legiana. I love how Hammer looks, but I'm terrible with it. Don't know how to hit the head of the monster with it. Alright guys, I think we've done enough gameplay with the heavy bowgun. We're gonna go ahead and jump back to Celiana. The other weapon request today was to use the Greatsword. I already have a Greatsword build going. We're going to jump right over to it. Wow, look at all that materials. Lots. Tons of materials. Woo! Doesn't that look nice? And what do we get here? Resistor, Frost, Footing, Geology 4, Gobbler, Brace, Furor, Venom. Alright, nothing really important. How's it going, Paolo? He says, I loved your video on Lance as a weapon with so much potential, and yet, ... Awesome work. Thanks, man. Again, just a simple damage buff, and maybe make it so that the Counterclaw works on elemental attacks. Maybe built-in guard up. They actually added built-in guard up, but you're forced to use power guard for a second or two. And in my opinion, that's not good enough, because sometimes you need to use a guard against a really powerful attack that's coming out immediately. So having to go into power guard is less reliable than simply throwing guard up onto your build. So that's why I say just go all the way, man. Just make it so that it's completely on the weapon. You don't have to use power guard. That's not a big change. Okay, we're going to jump over here. Let's grab our greatsword build. And it looks like we're using the light break blade. This is from Raging Brachydios. And we're running Colv Armor and Brachy Armor. Agitator, Crit Eye, Health Boost, Crit Boost, Weakness Exploit, Focus, Speed Eating, Free Meal. So this build I've put together really did not require me to do a lot of farming. This is my poor character on the PC. I could totally optimize this way better, but I've put this build together doing very little work. That's the whole idea here. Alright, so you've seen that. Let's go ahead and switch our items over. What's the best weapon and armor to use against Tigrex? Just regular weapon and armor? Just do damage to him. He doesn't... there's nothing really special about that fight. He doesn't KO you too fast. Hey, speaking of which, here's Tigrex. Does anybody else think dual blades need more combos? I myself am a dual blade main, and even though it is very simple. Yeah, dual blades is incredibly simple. You know what was really a good improvement to the sword and shield was the whole... what is the name of the new move? It's called... not peak performance. It's called... Hold on, let me eat this real fast and then think about it. I'm trying to remember the name of the move. Perfect Rush. So Perfect Rush was such a great new move for the sword and shield because it's this move where you actually have to get some muscle memory down in order to time it right. And as you get better at using Perfect Rush, you're rewarded with higher damage to the point where you're like, man, I'm an expert of this weapon. That's how you feel. With those dual blades, all you got to do is roughly figure out how to use it, and then you're already doing really well. It doesn't have anything like Perfect Rush built into it, and I wish it did. I suppose on the flip side, it does allow you to focus more on your ability to dodge and evade at the right time, so that's a nice thing. But yeah, I really do just wish dual blades had more like the Charge Blade, more like Perfect Rush, more like other weapons that include you being more involved in the actual fight. I think that's why I'm trying to say more involvement. Max Kalina, thank you so much, man. He says, bro, you've really made these betas mad. They have a whole thread. Thank you, TGC, for telling the truth. They hated him. They hated Jesus, for he spoke the truth. Now, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. It's, you know, I think that's kind of how things work. When somebody has an opinion that is unpopular, you're going to get jumped on. But, you know, maybe some people have also realized that the lance could... Oh, wow. I didn't even have to do any work here. What the hell? Maybe some people have realized that the lance could use a buff or two. And maybe it's my fault too for not being better at explaining exactly what I meant. But I really don't like the use of the term misinformation in this case. My opinion that the lance is not good at defense is an opinion, not misinformation. And really what you do is you weaken the usage of the word misinformation when you turn it into a weapon like that, when you use it to attack people. When you use it to attack people, I don't like what you like, so you are misinformation, and I'm the truth teller. People preying on TGC down wall after the Lance video. Them boys mad? That's right. Is it wrong to use normal shot on the light break bow? Is it wrong to use normal shots on the light break bow? Well, no, really not. Riddle says, if Memento invited you to join his loading screen podcast, would you join? You know, I'm open-minded to hanging out with other content creators from the Monster Hunter community. The only reason I don't do that right now is actually, to tell you the truth, I'm very comfortable working by myself. I'm very efficient at it. But I've never reached out to anybody to hang out with them and do a collaboration. And I've also never been reached out to, so I've never done either of those things. Well, other than the speed run, did you guys know Titus? He had I can't remember. He must have had like. I think he had about 600... No, I do remember. Titus had 666 subs when he reached out and he was like, look, dude, I got this world record bow run And I don't know if he asked anyone else, but I went ahead and I posted a video for him showing off the run and telling people to go sub. And today he has 1,500 subs now. He almost has double where he started. In other words, well, not he does have double where he started. He almost has 1,000 more subscribers now. So he's doing really well with that video, and I hope he keeps making bowgun stuff. But my point is that people can reach out if they want to, and I would be open-minded to some stuff, but it's not a race for me to do any kind of collaborations with anyone. And generally, again, I'm just more comfortable working by myself in the first place. God Terror Boy says, you should bring back the Terraria channel in the Discord. Terraria channel, huh? We can do that. So is Terraria had the whole thing come out? Here, I'll do it right now, God Terror Boy. Watch this. Where should we put it? All right, so let's see. Wow, that was some great sword footage, wasn't it? It's basically footage of me running. Wait. Where did I put the Terraria channel? Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, we're putting the Terraria update channel in the main. Oops. I've got it in the not safe for work category. Did you guys know that my Discord server has a not safe for work channel? Don't tell anyone. You have to be 18. All right, so we're in the Terraria update channel, and now let's choose edit channel. We're going to go over to permissions, and we're going to add, let's see what God Terror Boy goes by. Oh, there's a bunch of guys with Terraria in their name. I don't know what God Terror Boy goes by in the channel, so we're just going to leave it the way it is. All right, you got it. You got it. It's in there. What are my thoughts on modding? Totally fine. Try not to ruin other players' experience with modding, and ultimately it is up to Capcom whether or not they embrace modding. I think they should. I think in general modding is actually very good for a game. It shows that players are so passionate about your game they would like to add more to it. But there has to be a way for modding to exist so that it doesn't get used for cheating. I don't agree with... Let me explain what I mean by cheating. For example, I feel that players should not be able to use mods when submitting a speedrun. For example, if you're going to upload your video to YouTube and say, hey, look at this crazy speedrun I got. Well, you should not have been allowed to use mods to obtain that speedrun. But the problem is, I'm almost certain that people do. For example, if you had mods like the damage counter and stuff like that, you would be given an advantage over other players. Or if you could control certain aspects of RNG in the game, that would be other advantages. So modding for fun is a really good idea, but modding to make it seem like you're more skilled at the game than others is a really bad idea. Same with like the arena. In the arena, when you go in there on the PC, you find that people have these crazy good speedruns against the runs that the challenges that Capcom offers. But the reason that it's so good looking is just because people used mods to get in there. That's it. Also, the other problem with mods is that they do allow you to avoid paying for the microtransactions that Capcom set out to make money on, which is their product. That's how they make money as a company, right? So they have a right to monetize their intellectual property. And when you come in with mods and just say, here's the intellectual property for free, you've circumvented that, and that's not fair to Capcom. They should be allowed to sue you if you do that. And there's very good, I believe there's a very good chance that they could and they would win if they did. Let's fight Nargapuga with Rin Tosaka. You should try offensive guard greatsword build. That's an interesting idea, sure. Do you like ASMR? Funny enough, I do not. I do not like ASMR. I like listening to people have conversation in the background. You know, maybe it depends on how you define ASMR. When I'm doing a job, like let's say I'm shipping Pokemon cards and I know it's going to take like 6 to 7 hours to get this job done, I turn on a TV show. It's my favorite show right now. It's a Scottish TV show. It's a Scottish comedy called Still Game. And I turn that on and I just leave it running even though I've watched it like a million times. Okay, so I leave Still Game running in the background because I like, you know, hearing them talk, and it doesn't matter that I already know all the jokes and everything. So I think that might be, you could categorize that as a kind of ASMR, but the whole like pretty girls whispering into microphones is super simpy and gross. I don't know how to, it really grosses me out. It's a really weird thing. It's a really, really, really weird thing. I guess I shouldn't judge people if they like it, because it's not a big deal if you like it, really. Do what you like. If it makes you happy, do it, but it's just not for me. This is a little too weird. It kind of weirds me out. So maybe it's a little bit like the guys who get the anime pillows. It's like, it's funny, it's ironic, but I actually have no idea how to relate to that, because I would never buy that. It's really weird. But again, do what you want. That's how it is. It's 2020. People can judge you on the internet. People will definitely judge you on the internet, but it's like, if it makes you happy, why listen to anyone else? If you wanted to know, my Discord name is God Terrorboy. My nickname is !Terrorboy. Well, that's probably why I couldn't find you. I was going to give you special mod powers in that channel. Oh my god, he's going to kill me. What y'all's favorite monster? Nargacuga. Woo! Mods to remove some of the RNG like Drunk Bird or Gaja Spawn is nice to save time on resets though. I actually agree with this fan, but I feel like what should happen is Capcom should release an official arena for players to do their speedruns. So an official arena for freestyle speedruns should be released by Capcom. You know, before Iceborne had launched, on my wish list was a freestyle arena for Capcom to launch for serious speedrunners that would get rid of all RNG, and it would standardize speedruns. That was my hope, that they would release it into the game, and Capcom didn't release it into the game. They did virtually nothing with the arena. The arena is this almost forgotten part of Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and that is such a disappointment because there's really nothing else to do with the game once you have everything. So the other day I said, I'm basically done with Monster Hunter, and I was right. I've completed everything there is to complete in the game. So what do you have at the end? You can't play PvP, you have speedrunning. That's what you have. So speedrunning is a very important aspect for the actual end game in Monster Hunter World, and Capcom has not capitalized on that. They've not put together a freestyle arena. They have their version of the arena, and it's not what anyone cares about, because you don't see YouTube videos about the arena coming out. You know, the speedrunners don't go, look at the time, the world record I get in the actual arena. They don't do that. What they do is they fight the latest monster, they fight it as fast as possible, and then when you get a crazy time, like 4 minutes, 12 seconds, everyone sees your video and you make a bunch of money on YouTube from ad revenue. So that's what speedrunners really care about, and Capcom should recognize this and should instantly implement a system for it, because watchability of their video game is a critical part of being able to sell your video game. In fact, the Doom developers were talking about that, and I thought it was a really fascinating subject. They were talking about how, in order to make a successful game in 2020, the ability to make a game that's watchable on something like Twitch is a critical part of the release of your game. So yeah, having a standardized arena area should just by default already exist, and it's Capcom's fault that it doesn't. It's really to their detriment that it doesn't, and modders have essentially tried to compensate for this, but it's not official, is it? It's not official. So it gives PC players an unfair advantage over PlayStation players and Xbox players, and that's like the other 2/3 of the community. See what I'm saying? So you can say, oh man, look at this awesome speedrun I have, and then they can rightfully say, yeah, the speedrun you used mods for. So that's all my opinion on that. I really do want to see a flourishing speedrun community, and that's why Capcom should embrace mods, and Capcom should have rules for mods, and then Capcom should create a standardized way to play the arena. Everything is mostly fine except cheating and speedrunning and decorations. Well, see, I don't even mind the decorations either, to tell you the truth. It doesn't hurt my feelings if somebody got... Because I, for one, know how long it takes to unlock the decorations. On the Xbox, it took me 2,500 hours to unlock the final decoration I didn't have. That was a focus decoration, and I only had one level of focus decoration. I didn't have 3 of them. I had a single focus decoration after 2,500 hours of playing the game, and that is terrible RNG. So most people will not dedicate that much time to the game, and to be honest with me, putting together builds, it's something you should be able to do after 500 hours, in my opinion, not 2,500. So, and if they're not going to change the RNG in the game, it's, something like a vanity item. I wouldn't like it if people cheated to get a vanity item. So if there was like a weapon in the game that you could only accomplish for doing something really impressive, like a title for Extreme Behemoth or the Draken Layered Armor, if people used mods to obtain those, that would be frustrating. But decorations aren't really vanity items at all, are they? This will probably be like a borderline subject where some people will be more offended than others for modding, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. People can have their own opinions. James, actually, no, they're not allowed to have their own opinions. That's called misinformation. James Dice says, what do you think of instead of speedrunning, there is a mode where the monster just getting stronger, faster, more aggressive, and this has no limit instead of high score? Okay, so you're talking about like a survival mode? Yeah, there's new game modes they could release in the game. Something more fun than Guiding Lands anyways. But just on the subject of speedruns, they really ought to standardize it in a good way for freestyle. Arson says, I don't want to watch Speedrunner. I want to watch TGC Cart and rant about the Lance. And scream, Beta Bill! Nameless Hunter says, any news for Elytron? Elytron is coming so hard and so fast. Fast F says, it's delayed till June. Riddle says, another problem with the console difference is PC has better frame rates. Yeah, I heard about that as well. Although, I have to say I don't know. I feel like that one's more fair game. Like I don't know. I don't know how to have an opinion on it. I can't imagine that the frame rate makes the biggest difference ever. Riddle says another problem with the console difference is PC has. Oh, I already read that one. Juan says I can't even get a protective polish. Josh says I like to use a damage counter and cool layered armor mods. So the armor mods are one thing. The damage counter, I consider it cheating because it gives away critical information that the developers decided to hide from the player. Like when a monster is close to tripping, when a part's about, see what I'm saying? There's key critical information in there that when it's going to be KO'd that you're not supposed to have access to. So that is a form of cheating. Joshua says, what's your favorite monster to hunt? Nargacuga. Justin says, PC just for the load times. That's right, just for the load times. All right, guys, we had a wonderful 2 hour and 20-minute live stream. I'll try to get more Monster Hunter streams out again. I'm going to try to do 3 streams a day. It'll be very strenuous, but I'll try to do it. What I plan on doing now, I'm going to jump over to my second YouTube channel where we open up Pokemon cards. We open up vintage Pokemon cards. We have actually a game called Who's That Pokemon where you can join and win a bunch of Pokemon stuff if you're the winner. So we're going to be jumping over and doing that. I'm going to stand up and stretch and get the other live stream going. And then I'll come back here and I'll share the link in the description. I'll see you guys later. All right. I have a link to the other stream. Let me go get it. Busy, 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 man. Busy, busy, busy. I feel like I'm working harder than ever. Oh, and there it is. Wait. No, that's my actual stream that we're running right now. Whoops. Come back from here. Oh, god damn it. Dude, my laptop's getting real slow these days. You know, I was gifted a laptop really generously. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who... Was it Crazy Gold? He very, very generously donated a laptop to me. And I can't use it because for some reason when I try to boot up that laptop, the keyboard is locked and I can't find a way around it. So I need to take it into like a computer repair shop and have it fixed. So I can't use it yet. I'm still using my old laptop. All right, here we go. Now I have it. Why I quit Monster Hunter? You found it, Andrew? All right, here we go. Link to the card stream. Who needs a break? I don't need a break. I'm gonna get this posted to my Rocket channel. I have a second Discord server where we just do Pokemon cards. All right, here it is. Fun playing with you guys. We need to do more Monster Hunter streams. It's just been tough doing that and the Pokemon Blue playthrough, and obviously I'm doing my cards at the same time, but we need more monster streams. I would like to do one per day, at least one per day. There we go. All that's in. All right, and now I am ready to truly wrap up. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.